In this video, I'm going to cover externalities. Externalities refer to a third-person side effect. So there are external benefits as well as external costs to someone else's decision-making. Externalities in economics are market failures. The free market fails to include external costs or benefits. So with no government involvement, there would be too much of some goods and too little of others. So a good example is cigarette smoking. The government recognizes the external costs and makes policies to limit smoking. A negative externality results in a cost for a different person other than the original decision maker. These costs we're going to refer to as, quote, spillover costs to other people. So an example is a chemical company that pollutes the air when it produces the good. So an analysis is done to factor in the external costs of the pollution, and the government might decide to limit pollution. What will the marginal costs or supply look like when external costs are factored in? We'll shift the private cost to include the marginal social cost. At QFM, the marginal social cost is greater than the marginal social benefit. So too much of this good is being produced, and this would create a deadweight loss. So the deadweight loss is shaded in gray. So the solution to get where we want to be from here to here is to tax the amount of the externality, a per unit tax. So once that is done, there's no longer a deadweight loss. After the tax, the marginal social cost equals the marginal private cost, and the marginal social benefit equals the marginal social cost. Here's a practice question, and the answer is D. Positive externalities are situations that result in a benefit for someone other than the original decision maker. Vaccines are a good example. So someone who's getting a vaccine, they're looking at their internal benefit. When you factor in the external benefits to other, the marginal benefit and demand would be greater. So to correct for this, the government would subsidize vaccines. So in the market for flu shots, the marginal private benefit does not include the additional benefits to society. What will the marginal benefit or the demand look like when external benefits are factored in? We'll shift demand or the marginal social benefit to the right. At QFM, there's a market failure. The marginal social cost is less than the marginal social benefit, so too little of this good is being produced. There's an underallocation. So the government will subsidize the amount of the externality, a per unit subsidy, to correct for this. So MSB shifts to the right. And the marginal social cost equals the marginal social benefit. A practice question, and the answer is B. Another practice question, and the answer is B. And with this one, the answer is D. The answer is A. Why are public bathrooms so gross? Goods that are available to everyone are often polluted since no one has an incentive to keep them clean. There's no monetary incentive to use them efficiently, so the result is high spillover costs. An example is overfishing in the ocean. In 1970, the government tried to protect endangered woodpeckers by requiring land developers to report nests on their land. The population of the birds actually decreased. Landowners would kill the birds or else they'd risk lengthy production delays. Assume the government wanted to limit a firm from polluting. They tell them that they will inspect them twice and they must reduce pollution by 5%. The amount of pollution would actually increase because these firms will have the incentive to pollute more prior to the inspection. Are there market solutions to these problems? The government can sell the right to pollute. Assume that a lake can naturally absorb 500 gallons of pollutant. The government sells each firm the right to pollute a set number of gallons. Now, what does each firm have the incentive to do? If the firms do not use all of their 500 gallons, could they actually sell their rights to someone else?